There, we got it. I've been trying to fix things so they're not so crooked. They might be a little crooked. Sorry about that. So today I want to talk a little bit about Molly and what I have had, and what she has done. So, Molly is a caseworker that I had just recently after my other caseworker left for new things. She needed to leave for personal reasons. So, anyway, I've had Molly for a long time now. I think since last year, since my last caseworker left. So, the weird thing is that I didn't know she was this type of person, but we'll get into what happened. But I am still kind of really upset and mad at everything she's done. So, the beginning of the story is that I was trying to get a hold of her because I've been trying to start my own business, as some of you know, but I do kind of have to go through certain channels to start that. And so the person that I've been working with, her and I have been trying to call and email this person, or trying to email Molly and trying to get a hold of her to set up a meeting. But once she tried emailing her, the emails weren't getting through. So I tried calling and texting her, same thing. So we tried calling her boss, Amanda, to see what was going on. And so I was told that Molly no longer worked there, that she got, but they didn't tell me why. They told me I had this other person named Amber. Amber is really nice. But before I got Amber, they asked me if do I want to still go through them, or do I want somebody else? Well, I've been wanting to go back to this other person, but because where things have been so crazy lately, and she's been having a hard time getting a certain thing started in order to start the process. She just told me to stick with Amber. And then Amber calls me after talking to Amanda. So I'm trying to get my name straight. She said that she has been trying to get a hold of me, and I said, yeah, we just talked to Amanda, and and I was going to call her back saying that I wanted you, and she's like, oh, okay, but so basically we talked for a little bit. I decided I wanted to work with Amber, so we decided to set some time up so that we could talk a little bit more. Jennifer, who I have to work with for the business stuff said set up a meeting so that we could have her go to the next business meeting that I had. But anyway, after that, a few days after talking to Amanda and Amber, a woman named Donna comes knocking at the door, and she is like, "Oh, we're investigating Molly." Well, she's like, "Well, we're doing not," and she didn't tell me that yet, but she's like, "Oh, we're doing an investigation. Did you need any furniture, or have you needed any furniture lately?" And I'm like, "Furniture? Like, what the heck is going on? Like, I don't understand the question." And so we sat down and we talked a little bit, and apparently Molly has been trying to get gift cards from Bob's Discount Furniture in my name and others' clients' names. And so that is why she left the company, because they let her go because of that particular reason. So the company I go through is for profit, not a non-profit. And we don't know if it was for us being the clients or if it was for her personally and she was just taking it gift cards out on our names. We don't exactly know. And from what Donna said, that Molly shouldn't have seemed that new, and Mark and I were like, "Oh, okay," wondering if she's ever done it before. We don't want to assume things or make assumptions or anything like that, but something kind of seemed weird. And so I was like, "Oh, okay." So they said that there is an investigation, and it's up to the company that Molly goes through if they want to press any charges. And to me, yes, I, being the person who she's done this to, would like to press charges if there's anything going on there. And then I talked to them about calling my disability rights attorney and talking to him and to try to figure out like what was going on there, because I was very confused. I was definitely very confused. And she's like, "I can't tell you to do that, and I can't deny you. So if you want to call him, that's up to you." And I was like, "Okay." And then, so I called my mom too, because apparently they called my mom. And then, so I had to call my mom and explain what was happening. And that, it was being looked into, and that technically there's really nothing I could do about it. I had to just leave it in their hands, I guess. And then I asked my disability rights attorney, like, what would be the protocol for that if we did pursue it. And he's like, "Well, depending on the situation may not go far, because yes, it is identity theft, from taking my, name and using it. And yes, if she did use it, that would be stealing money from me, technically. Um, but where nothing really happened, there's really not much we could do about it. Unless we had proof um, and evidence, it would be hard to prove it in court. I believe that's what he said. I'm not really sure on that, but. And then just recently, I got a follow-up phone call saying that, I'm good. They closed the case. There was nothing much to go on. She's gone, and she didn't get any of the cards. So, in a way, that's a win-win, but for that. But the thing is, it still feel, because they wanted me to have closure. That's why they called me back. But to me, I'm always gonna wonder why. Why picking me? Why did this happen? I'm always gonna wonder that. And so, like I was telling my counselor who I see, I told her, I said, I do have a lot of mixed feelings about it. I said, I did feel there was something off about her. I didn't quite, I don't know exactly what it was, but I did feel like there was something off about Molly. Like, so most case managers are supposed to, like, be more involved with you. Like, rather it's, picking up the phone and checking in or calling you, making meetings to meet up, or like basically, communicating with you every once in a while to kind of make sure things are in order. Making sure your case is up to date and all that. If you have a payee, which she was my payee at the time, which that kind of scared me too, with the whole thing with that thing that happened. She never gave me any money for a spend down, so my money was over the limit. And I don't think she realizes that I could have lost my supports, which would be Mark and his company. I could have lost my medical insurance. I could have lost my my food stamps. I could have lost a lot of things that helped me, And I don't even think she realizes what she did wrong. Or technically, no, she probably does realize what she did wrong. But she, hurt people for no reason. And that is not okay to me. But the few things that did red flag me was, one, there was no communication with her unless she needed something or wanted something. That time that I ended up in the hospital, I had to call her multiple times before I heard from her or she called me back or whatever. And that was not okay. She has probably made it out here a few times to like sit down face to face. Only a few times, and it's supposed to be more than a few times. She's met with my mother a few times, and it's supposed to be more than a few times with her as well. There was no consistency. And so, that's one thing I like as consistency, but if there's no consistency there, I do have a problem with that, with the consistency. And I'll talk a little bit more about that later. But I do feel that I don't know how I feel about that. I am still very upset about there are triggers that set me off about that whole situation. So like I said, I was talking to my counselor, and then I went into a full-blown panic attack, and I couldn't calm down because it was just there. So we did a meditation to help calm me down, and she's like, maybe we need to avoid that conversation for a little bit. Not really avoid it, but wait until I'm ready to talk about it more before we actually start working on that, because apparently it was triggering for me, and I basically didn't know how traumatized I was by it until I started having panic attacks around it. I mean, I can talk about it now because I'm starting to process it right now, but I have been struggling with it though. So, and that's one of the things I've been struggling with. So, you know. But yeah, that happened. I am still kind of trying to figure out what happened exactly. And I do want to say that if you have issues with your caseworker or case manager, make sure you let someone know, because I didn't, and I think that was the other reason why it was hard to for me, because I didn't say anything when there was things going on, and I should have mentioned it to Amanda, and I didn't, because Amanda is the boss, or she's the manager there, and the big head one apparently. But I should have said something to her, and I didn't. So I think the lesson learned from this is making sure you communicate and talk to your person, or talk to your their supervisor, or talking to their company and doing a grievance if there's something wrong, and That's what it's called, filing a grievance, I believe. Or just talking to them and letting them know that, I haven't seen this person or talked to them in a while and it's not okay. And talk to them about what you need is most important, because I feel that if you're not getting what you need and they're not providing what you need, it needs to be brought up. I am still working on that. I'm not gonna say that I have everything, under control, because I don't. But I am working on it. I am trying to be more, trying to advocate for myself more. And if, let's say, Amber does something and I don't like it, or if something goes on and she does something that is not okay, I would say something. I would bring it up to whoever, just so that that situation can be handled. So I'm not saying that that's what's going to happen, because she's a really nice lady or a very nice person, but I'm just saying for an example, Let me get more of those. But anyway, I am gonna end this video for now. I do think that I said everything I was going to say on this topic. Any questions, comments, let me know, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.